Hi, I'm Professor Bill Kovarik and I teach media history. I recently wrote this textbook about the international history of media and technology. Now we all know that communications technologies are rapidly changing our world. Demonstrations shake the Middle East, earthquakes rock China, a hurricane smashes into the United States, and the news flies around the world in seconds. Canadian historian Marshall McLuhan said in the 1960s that we were becoming a global village. He was right. At these kinds of moments, we turn to history for explanations. What happened? Why did all this happen? What were the international connections that accelerated the social construction of a global media technology? Take radio. We have to start with a British professor's calculations in the 1860s, tested by a German physicist in the 1880s, and then taken up by an Irish Italian in the 1890s, who discovers how to commercialize radio. In the process, he creates a monopoly that pushes aside a Canadian inventor, name of Reginald Fessenden, who's figured out a way that radio works best with continuous wave technology and is able to broadcast voice and music in 1906. Meanwhile, in the US, a Russian immigrant named David SARNOFF finds a way to make money for RCA, and in a generation, the news from Washington and Europe is instantly available on radio. But let's take a look at the technology that really shook things up: computers. A London mathematician named Babbage invents a difference engine, and it would have worked, as this demonstration proved in the 1980s. In Washington, D.C., a census employee begins building an automatic calculator in the 1880s and founds a company that becomes IBM. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's science advisor, Vannevar Bush at MIT, promotes ideas about democratic choices of technologies. J.C.R. LICKLIDER designs a computerized defense network and envisions an intergalactic network with a library at everyone's fingertips. Grace Hopper and others work to make computers more user-friendly. Walter Cronkite sees them as the library of the future, and even the old newspaper technologies that worked for hundreds of years get a boost from computer terminals. But the screens weren't much to look at, and other visionaries like Ted Nelson invent the concept of hypertext and the idea that computers can be liberating technologies. In California, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs created desktop publishing revolution. And as networks grow, a British engineer at the CERN labs in Switzerland creates a medium that displays text and video and links from one page to the other, something called a World Wide Web. The point is that you can find these links for every nation and for every communications technology. So what I'd like to do is to share my research with students in a massive online open course, and then to ask them to join me in collaborating on websites like this one and exploring an international history of communication that helps us explain this emerging global culture. Thank you.